As part of introducing startups and major companies, today we'll delve into one of the most renowned, Spotify, and get to know more about its formation and development. Before such software existed in the music industry, copyright protection was only possible through the physical purchase of albums. For music on physical albums that were inaccessible, illegal downloads became a common practice. In 1999, the website Napster entered the scene, allowing users to share music files stored on their hard drives for free. However, it faced lawsuits, starting with the band Metallica, followed by many others, ultimately leading to its shutdown in 2001. Afterward, music tracks were sold for about $2 each on platforms like iTunes, but this model didn't satisfy Spotify's founders. This led to the birth of the idea for Spotify in Stockholm in 2006, created by Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzon. Daniel, who is still the CEO of Spotify, was born in 1983 into a poor yet artistic family. His grandparents were musicians, and he developed an interest in programming at the age of 14. At 16, he applied for a job at Google but was rejected due to not having a university degree. Despite this, Daniel achieved a monthly income of $50,000 at a young age and even founded a company with 30 employees. In 2006, while Daniel was the product manager at Stardoll, he and Martin Lorentzon, a co-founder of Tradedoubler, were brainstorming ideas and names for their new project. During one session, Daniel misheard Martin's suggested name, Spotify, from another room and immediately liked it. They quickly checked Google for the name's availability, found it unregistered, secured the domain, and left the office. Interestingly, following this naming success and Spotify's later achievements, the naming pattern using IFE gained immense popularity. Over 350 companies have since adopted this naming style. However, the two founders later claimed that Spotify was inspired by combining the words spot and identify. After 2 years of initial research, they launched the first version of Spotify in 2008. Unlike the conventional methods of that time, Spotify introduced a freemium service, which was well received. This model offered basic features and ads for free, while additional features, such as higher streaming quality and offline music downloads, were available through a subscription. Additionally, instead of the traditional model of fixed payments to artists for album or song sales, Spotify implemented a royalty system based on the number of streams an artist received relative to the total number of streams on the platform. Interestingly, despite their innovation, the company incurred a $4.4 million loss in its first year. However, they didn't lose hope and persevered. Naturally, the company needed to secure funding to achieve its goals, a process that came with many challenges. Daniel recounts spending an entire night in freezing weather outside an investor's office, hoping to secure some capital. Eventually, Spotify's first investors, Li Ka-shing, Creandum, Northzone, and Horizons Ventures, came on board, collectively contributing $21.6 million in the first funding round. A year later, Li Ka-shing and several other firms participated in Spotify's Series B funding, injecting an additional $50 million into the company. In Series C funding, Spotify raised $161.1 million in 2010, with contributions from Founders Fund and Sean Parker, the founder of Napster. That same year, the number of songs available on the platform reached 10 million, closing the gap with iTunes' library of 11 million songs. As a result, the Swedish company set its sights on expanding to the US market. They rented a space at the Rocket Space co-working hub, leveraging the benefits of a shared workspace to further develop their platform. Their progress was steadily upward, and over time, they managed to establish lucrative partnerships with major companies such as Netflix, Samsung, Sony, and several other American and European firms. Spotify went public on the New York Stock Exchange in April 2018 as a publicly traded company. This move sparked such a revolution in the industry that Spotify now operates in 178 out of 235 countries worldwide. The current Spotify collection includes over 70 million tracks, 2.6 million podcast titles, 4 billion playlists, and more than 21 million artists. Today, Spotify has over 3,000 employees, and Daniel Ek continues to serve as the company's CEO. The company's annual revenue has also surpassed $6 billion.